Want more revenue without services? Add Tressic to your stack to turn conversations into outcomes. See how at Tressic.cloud.
Hey everybody, it's Doug Green and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News, and I'm very pleased to have with me today Greg Labrie of WEI. Greg, thank you for joining me today.
Yes, Doug, good to see you and good to have you. Good to be on your show.
Well, I'm so glad that, as I just mentioned before we started, I'm really glad about this topic. I think you guys are basically knocking at the future of telecom and communications. WEI Connect is an enterprise connectivity solution. We're going to be getting into that in just a second. But yeah, Greg, give me a little bit of background about WEI, and then we'll start to unpack this.
Sure. WEI has been a value-added reseller since 1989, so they have a lot of history doing that with various IT solution providers. And as we have morphed into what we are today, the one thing that we've kept solid with is the value in the VAR. So all the value that we add comes from customer recommendations or things we work out with one customer, and then we see how it applies across all of our customer base. And that has had WEI growing very strong from 1989 to today.
Wow. You actually are now on the podcast of a publication that was also launched in 1989. Telecom Reseller started out at the same time, reporting on PBXs when that was exciting. So yeah. So let's get into this. AI. So first, Greg, what does AI in telecom actually mean? What are we really talking about?
Yeah, well, for us, it means having networks that are self-healing and autonomous. And in order to do that, we need a lot of data. And so a lot of telemetry monitoring data to make those decisions. But a lot of the AI comes into gathering that data, making decisions based on that data. So true AI making its own cognitive decisions is the future maybe, but that's kind of where the bar is today, at least for WEI.
So we have Starlink, we have AI. How does Starlink fit into this AI conversation?
Well, Starlink is inherently AI, as I just described it, with the self-healing and autonomous, in that your antenna that you put on your building or in your car or wherever it happens to go, can have a choice of what's out there for a satellite, what's the best satellite to connect you and keeps you connected all the time. And then the satellite has a choice of what POP on the ground to bring you back to, if it's available, not congested, and ready to go. If not, then it moves you to a different POP. From your perspective, the users who are using the internet access, they don't know any of those decisions. They're just happening automatically in the background. So it's built for resiliency, which means self-healing and autonomous.
So, okay. So where does WEI Connect fit into this?
Well, as I think a lot of people would agree, maybe a lot of your viewers would agree, Starlink is pretty revolutionary technology, and
right.
it's a pretty, not just a cool technology, but it's a technology that works really, really well. What WEI is adding to it is making it an enterprise grade solution by making it much more easily consumable by customers. Part of that is building in the models where you can in the future have more AI into it. But what we're doing is providing through their APIs. We gather lots of data through the APIs, present it to our portal to customers in order for them to see the data, but it also allows us to make decisions that are predictive in nature to help cure their network and to help them manage it, to help them look at the usage. Starlink for Business is still a measured service. So usage is important for them, where they're using it, how they're using it, limiting their usage if they need to. And then we also are looking at intelligence for making decisions as to when to use the Starlink, if it's in a backup mode, and when to use the primary connection. So traditional, maybe SD-WAN type solutions there for that.
So is that actually how you're using WEI to make those decisions?
Yeah, it's so inherently in things like SD-WAN are all of this data collection and self-healing. And as part of our solution, we're working with the customers on their end to use SD-WAN technologies in order to gather that data at the end user's location and decide, is Starlink the best solution right now? Working well, is 5G, is a fiber connection that they have better? For certain applications, we're looking at latency, we're looking at the current obstructions in the air and all of that to make decisions as to what's the best signal right now. So from the end user's perspective, we're looking at giving them an outcome-based network, not a circuit versus another circuit type of network.
Now, all that's going on, it's seamless to the end user. Is that right?
It is seamless to the end user.
And can it actually, what you're describing, can that actually happen in the course of a single call? In other words, can a conversation be handed off seamlessly?
Both from the perspective of just Starlink alone. If all you had is Starlink and we're changing, the antenna's changing from satellite to satellite, or the satellite's changed from pop to pop, that happens without the user's intervention, but also awareness, or the application's awareness of what's happening. We're running on Starlink from my perspective today. That's what my internet connection is on, and it could have changed satellites, and I don't know. And we would continue to have a seamless call here.
So in other words, this podcast, your end of it at least, you're using this technology to do that.
Correct. My internet access here is Starlink. I have more than one Starlink satellite dish bonding traffic together, but that's essentially what it is. Yes.
So Greg, you've just violated the first rule of live podcasts, which is never do a live demo. This is in fact a live demo.
It's always a live demo these days. And that's one of the important parts of having these outcome-based networks is you can't do anything anymore. You can't go to a retail and buy something. The hamburger maker can't make a hamburger anymore without an internet connection. Not because the fry later needs it, but the financial transaction goes across the internet. And so they need that internet connectivity. So having good, solid internet connectivity, again, outcome-based, is critical.
Where do we go from here? So what are we looking at over the next 3 years? What are we looking at over the next 5 years?
Well, I think what we're set up to do with our portal and with the APIs and the connection we have with Starlink is we continue to gather more and more data. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing in order to get it to be that we can make even more decisions autonomously and correct certain problems that do require human intervention today. Whether it's to reboot the system, upgrade the system without any interference and things like that. That's still, patching, upgrading is still an event that does take some outage window. And so things like that, as we go, will get better and better with, again, collecting more and more data, making better and better decisions.
A lot of our readers, we have about 20,000 enterprise readers. Let's talk to them for just a second. How is this going to impact them?
Well, those that are using the internet or relying on services that use the internet will start to see, less outages. Today it's pretty painful to have an outage. It's painful for many people. So now you have multiple options again, right. and it will seamlessly connect from one service to the other, so that the availability grows, and the person that are using it or getting a benefit from the service, they really don't anymore see that, circling the drain type of activity on their screen or whatever app they're using, and it just continues to go without their involvement.
So do you see AI improving networks or enabling new use cases?
Well, I see both. We talked about just how it will improve the networks and the availability and basically the outcome of the status of the network and the performance of the network. But one of the things that Starlink in particular is showing a lot of interest in it is from organizations that need a lot of telemetry data. You look at drilling platform out in the ocean. You look at people who are monitoring any type of transportation or any of these things out there. They want all that telemetry, but it's not easy to get it all centralized into a data warehouse somewhere. Starlink works anywhere. As long as you can see the sky, you're going to get Starlink. So that allows you to collect that data, and then those organizations start collecting more and more data and making intelligent decisions based on that. So we're kind of bringing AI to those people. And so Starlink is both AI as well as an enabler for AI.
So, Greg, does this create a challenge? Because it sounds like now I have multiple telecom vendors.
There are multiple telecom vendors, that's for sure. And, I think you have, customers will have a lot of choices, but they also will start to have choices of companies that are not traditional telecom vendors like WEI and what we're able to create because of the fact that, we've been a VAR for a long time. We have software developers. We know the IT space. We were able to utilize the APIs from Starlink to create a portal that gives customers not only good usage plans, but it also gives them the ability to get custom billing platforms and custom billing for them, pooling of data, so that they're able to utilize that in the way that they want. So you'll see lots of competition for these telecom vendors. It won't just be the traditional big telecom vendors that are doing that.
And is this what's called a unified partner?
As far as what WI is with Starlink?
Yeah.
They call us an authorized partner. Yeah.
An authorized partner. I see. And why does speed matter for critical operations?
Well, the speed matters in that, for something like Starlink, because the speeds have increased all over time with fiber, with the availability of fiber. And there's not a lot of other internet access choices that are up to the speed of fiber. Now Starlink is, and they're up to 470 megabits per second, 20 millisecond type latency, soon to be doubling that speed by the end of this year with the ability to bond multiple satellites together on the performance Starlink antennas. And so now when you need access, you now have a choice of a vendor who, is completely outside the normal path of, the normal terrestrial path of cellular and fiber that can provide speeds that are almost up to those fiber connections, whether it's for backup, because the choice of backup today, you're making unless you have a secondary fiber internet connection, you're sort of sacrificing a little by going to 4G, 5G type backup. And everybody recognizes that, but the price is great. So you do it. But now you get price parity with 5G with the performance of your fiber.
As we wrap up, Greg, how does this change environment? What does this mean in terms of support? Because it sounds like I've got multiple vendors. There's this seamless switching. Is there a support story too?
For WI, that's where we come in. We are providing the 24/7 support. Customers of WI do not call Starlink. We have, as an authorized partner, we're taking over that entire relationship. We will deal with Starlink if we need to. Obviously, we acquire all of our data from Starlink, but we stock the antennas. We provide the installation. We provide the portal and the full access for the customers to manage their Starlinks, and we provide the ongoing support, RMAs, and anything that goes wrong, ongoing.
So they're not having to reach out to Starlink. You've got that covered.
That's correct.
I see. And it sounds like there's a whole bunch of other support. It kind of also sounds like I'm actually going to be able to talk to somebody.
Yeah, we on our portal, we allow you to open up a ticket, but we also always have this 800 number call, and we have technicians sitting there ready to go, whether it's a question about the alignment of your antenna on the roof, or you're seeing performance issues, and because we're VAR, we have we have a lot of good solid SD-WAN engineers, so we can work with the customers all the way down to the router, and help them to identify an issue, even if it isn't a Starlink issue, to try and help them to what's going on with their network.
Greg, I really want to thank you for joining me today. This has been really interesting. I don't mind saying to everybody, we love doing agentic AI podcasts, but I was glad today also to do a topic about this. This, I think, is also a little look into the future. I'm looking forward to the idea of this very rapid switchover, and you don't get all these disruptions.
Yes, and thank you, Doug, for having me today. And I also look forward. It's Starlink and that kind of technology brings some really exciting times ahead.
Make voice valuable again. Tressic turns every call and text into action automatically. Learn more at tressic.cloud.